share it twice sometimes. Okay, so if you're seeing my screen, you see question 2 here, which says, what is the value of V if H inverse, that means inverse, has an x-intercept at x equals 6? Are you confused yet? So this problem tests your ability to find, first thing is, can you find an inverse? And let's say I said the equation was y equals 2x plus 1, and I said to find an inverse. Do you recall the steps to find the inverse for this?
Do you make like the x? Yeah, x equals 2y.
Yep. And then you solve for y, so you get x minus 1 equals 2y, and then y equals x minus 1 over 2. So for this given problem here, this given equation, if we write it this way, y equals ax plus v over 5x plus 3, the first step for finding the inverse is to switch x and y.
Okay. So y plus v.
Okay, is that clear so far?
Yeah.
Okay, so then the next step is you want to solve for y. So this is where this one's obviously much difficult than the example I gave, because there's more letters and you also have stuff in bombs. You actually multiply both sides by 5y plus 3.
Okay.
So on the left here, I'm going to distribute this x into both. So it's 5xy plus 3x equals, on the right side, it's ay plus v. If you've gotten this far, it's a little bit more manageable. Your goal here is to get all the y's on one side.
So subtract the ay. And
Yeah, I'm going to move that over and move the 3x over. Good. So you get 5xy minus ay equals v minus 3x.
okay.
Factor out a y, 5x minus a. And then you can divide both sides by the 5x minus a.
Y equals, okay.
And this right here, this is your inverse. This is, if you go back to the very beginning, this is your inverse.
Okay.
All right, so a lot of these questions that I write, and this is what's going to help you on the test, is like, you could get a question that literally just asks you to find the inverse. Okay, so you got to know how to do that. You got to know this skill. You got to know how to find the inverse. Now let's go back to the original question. The original question says, what is the value of v if the inverse has an x-intercept at x equals 6? So actually, let me just snip that part down, because that's really all we care about now.
Do you plug in 6 where the x's are?
You do, but there's a little bit more to it, because this is a rational function. Do you know how to find where the x-intercept is of a rational function? You actually just have to set the numerator equal to 0.
Oh.
Okay, and let me just diagram that really quick here. So let's say I gave you a function f of x equals x minus 3 over x plus 3. This thing will cross the x-axis at 3, but it also has a vertical asymptote at -3. So there's different things that you get from the top and the bottom here. So in your problem, all you have to do is set the numerator equal to 0.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you set this equal to 0, you find that v equals 3x, and what does x equal?
6.
Which is 18.
So you don't have to do it. So the answer is 18. You don't have to do anything with the denominator.
Nope.
Okay.
So as always, we should do another one, and we'll do one just like it. We'll just change the numbers. It's the exact same steps. So I'd like you to try this one. I'm going to check in with you, of course, to see how you're doing. But the first thing to do is to find the inverse. You have to be able to find the inverse. Now, again, these are probably more difficult than what you'll see on the real test. On the real test, z will be a number and j will be a number, but you can do this. You absolutely can do this. So I'd like you to first find the inverse of this thing, and I'll write the solution out in a moment or two.
Okay, I think I got it.
Okay. Let me write. Let me just grab the. Let me grab the solution and see if you've got it here. There's a couple of variations on it, like the negatives could be reassigned to the top. But did you get something like this for your inverse?
J plus 5x over. Yes, I got that.
Okay. So now you set the numerator
Well, that's
equal
where.
to 0.
So then I did that, but I got negative 40, so I'm a little
So
confused.
j should equal negative 5x, and then if x is 8, negative 8.
Wait,
That's
why is it
you're
negative?
you're you're, you're
Oh, you
solving for.
moved it to the other side. Yeah, gotcha. Okay, so then it would be 40 plus 40.
All right, so let me give you one more where I don't give you the multiple choice. This is a good way to test. Are you able to do this without seeing the answer to verify, and then we'll work on the other fork, which is related to this.
Okay. got 12.
12 is one of the answers. Let me see if that's the right one. And this is exam 2. Oh, this is exam 3. Sorry. Yeah, that looks correct. Yep, nice job. Nice job. Okay, so let me grab the related question to this. Do you remember what happens when you set the bottom of a rational function equal to 0? The denominator down, like this denominator here.
Well, you can't divide something by 0.
You can't divide by 0, but it produces something on the graph, and that's
Oh.
what I believe the other fork asks for. So the I'm asking just we'll do a couple of problems, but it's really it's a vertical asymptote, so it's not that it's not going to be that different of a question. I believe you still have to find the inverse, and then you have to set the bottom equal to 0. So let's just find that for you here. 18, here we go. Found some of those questions. Yeah, okay.
So all you do is just you still find an inverse and everything. You just set the denominator.
Yeah, so we won't do as many of these because it's basically the same skill. It's just a different type of problem. But here it just asks, it says, where is the inverse undefined? And you'll find that the inverse is undefined where the bottom is equal to 0. So try one more, and then we'll probably move on to another question.
I got -6.
-6. Okay, that looks like it's correct. 20. Oh, these giving me the numbers. Okay, D. Yep, that is correct. Okay, so you got that down. Pretty much got that down. Since we're dealing with rational functions, let's just talk about a few other things that might be useful here. So let's say I give you something like x squared minus 7x plus 12 over x squared minus 16. And I say, what happens when x is equal to 4? Okay, so this is a lot of review. Whenever you see a rational thing like this, I know we didn't have it here. You generally want to factor each of these. So the top factors into x minus 3, x minus 4, and the bottom factors into x minus 4, x plus 4. So you want to be really comfortable with your factoring of that. But it still doesn't answer this question, like what happens at 4 here? And do you see how these factors cancel?
Oh, isn't it like there's a hole or something?
That's right, there's a hole.
Yeah.
And that's because the factors cancel.
Right, I remember.
Okay. Now I could also say, well, what happens at x equals -4? That's right there. And that's what we just did. It's a vertical asymptote. It's where the function is undefined.
Okay.
And I could also ask, well, what happens at 3? That's this one up here. 3 is where it crosses the x-axis. And I could also ask you, well, what happens when x is 0? Well, this is where it crosses the y-axis.
Okay.
So there's a lot of things we could ask about these rational functions, and it's reasonable to ask you about any of them, but they often have these like little wrinkles where things cancel out.
Okay.
All right. So I was just looking at the practice exam. I opened up a new one for us. That's where question 2 came from. I think we've done a lot of these, so I'm just gonna grab a question here, and I hope you can work through it pretty quickly because we've done it before, and this is now we're getting to where we're just reviewing the skills. All right. So this question says, for what value of k makes the lines parallel? So parallel lines have the same slope. Yeah. So you've got to get the slope of line 1, and then you've got to get the slope of line 2, which will be in terms of k, and then you set them equal.
Okay.
So give that a try. See if you can find the slope of equation 1.
So the slope is 10.
Of the first one.
Oh wait, no, sorry. Got to divide by 11. It is 10 over 11. Yes, right?
It is. So the slope of equation 1 is 10 over 11.
And slope of the second, 6x minus 1. Plus 4. What do you do with the k?
K goes with it. So when I say in terms of k, that means there's a k there. That's going to be part of it. It's going to be in the bottom.
Well, it's 2 over k. Is that right?
The slope, so you're going to subtract 6x from both sides. So you end up getting minus 3ky equals minus 6x plus 4. And then you divide by minus 3k. And like you said, it's just the number, it's not the x, so it's 2 over k. So you set these equal to each other and you solve for k.
Okay. 10 over 11. And here you can just cross multiply, right?
Yes. So you're setting 10 over 11 equal to 2 over k.
Divide by 10. K equals 20. Wait, what? If you cross multiply, it would be 22.
10k equals 22.
Yeah, and then you divide 10.
That's right. So k is equal to 22 over 10, or if you reduce that, 11 over.
Oh, it's got you can reduce.
Yes.
It's not an option though. Okay. 11 over 5. What would you do if it said perpendicular instead of parallel? Well, I know like
So we can do that. So if they're perpendicular, the product of the slopes
opposite reciprocal.
is -1, and that's how they become opposite reciprocal.
Okay.
So you found the first slope was 10 over 11. The second slope was 2 over k. That product has to be -1.
Oh, okay. So you still cross multiply, right?
No, not here, because you're on the left side. You're just multiplying across. So it's 20 over 11k equals -1. And this is where you can cross multiply if you want.
Oh, okay. Equals 20. 20 over -11. That would be B. That's why they put that there.
Yeah, and this is one of those where you might see the answer for both on the exam, because it's, if you're not sure which one it is, they don't give you enough. They want you to be able to distinguish between the two. So let's do one more of these, and you know, this is the type of question I think is so direct that by now I really want you to be able to get this done like in under a minute, especially now that we've gone through one. So go ahead and start and see if you can work through that, please.
I got, oh, I got -2/7.
-2/7.
So maybe somewhere mine.
Okay, so the closest one is B or D, and obviously there's a sign error somewhere in there. The slope of equation 1 is -12 over 8, which reduces to -3/2. And then the slope of equation 2 is 3 over -7k.
Oh, yeah.
So we're setting,
I had 3 over 2. I just didn't have the negative.
okay, 3 over -7k. So you end up getting like 21k equals 6, k equals 6 over 21, which is
Yeah, so
2/7.
okay, I just missed the negative.
All right, let's do one now where I don't give you where I don't give you the multiple choice, and see if you can come up with this on your own. So just really keep track of those signs, because in this section you wouldn't get any credit for not having the right answer, if even if it was just a sign off.
Um,
How are you doing on this?
well, I think it's -3, but
So the -3 is not correct, but it's very close. It's +3.
oh my god.
Yeah. Uh,
Uh,
it,
I don't know where. Okay, let me see. So it's 3x, subtracting the 3x, and then finishing that. Can you go through it? Because I don't see my mistake.
okay. Okay, so for the first equation, when you move the 3x over, this becomes ky equals 3x plus 3, and then you divide both sides by k.
Well,
You're supposed to divide the 3 by k, but that doesn't really matter.
why is it not negative?
What? Which one?
Never mind. Never mind.
Okay. Um, so then it's y equals 3 over kx plus 3 over k. So the slope of equation 1 is 3 over k. Equation 2, you're adding 2x to both sides, so 2y equals 2x minus 7 divided by 2 divided by 2. So y equals 1x minus 7 halves. So the slope of 2 is 1. So you set 3 over k equal to 1, and you solve for k, and k ends up equaling 3. So I guess there's you just be careful when you're moving stuff.
I wrote the equation with a +3x instead of a -3x, so it all started
Okay.
wrong.
Yeah, well, and if you're doing this on paper, I don't even know what they're doing now, but you may not make that mistake because it'll be right in front of you. Copying from a screen isn't the best for this. Okay, let's move to. I think this is a related skill because it's dealing with some fractional stuff here. Actually, let me cancel. Let me go to the first exam here. All right, so I'm gonna. All right, so again, kind of a story question. Some things are given. Okay. If x and y are related by the equation y equals p over n times x, where p is 1 and n is 3, what is the value of minus 3x over 5y plus 7/5? So for example here, it's given. This equation is given, so you definitely want to put those values. And p is 1, n is 3 times x. So we have y equals 1/3 x. And we somehow have to use that to deal with this minus 3x over 5y plus 7/5. When you scan the answer space, um, these are all numbers. So that should tell you you're going to have to do something with the x and the y here. Okay. So this problem emphasizes like that you don't always substitute in for x. You could substitute in for like 3x, okay, or you can substitute in for y.
What do you mean by
Well,
substitute?
so let me solve this for x. So x equals 3y. So you could just take this and put it in for x. That would be totally okay.
Right.
Okay, or you could or you could make this 3x. You could multiply both sides by minus 3. And then minus 3x equals minus 9y. And then all of this can go in for this up here. You'll end up getting the same answer. It just kind of depends which way you see this problem.
Mm-hmm.
So which do you kind of see? Which way do you see it? Substituting for just x or substituting in for minus 3x?
Probably just substituting in for x.
Okay, so x is 3y. So let me just rewrite it over here. So it's minus 3x over 5y plus 7/5. And we just said that x is 3y. So it's minus 3 times 3y, 5y plus 7/5. So what that does is this becomes minus 9y over 5y plus 7/5. The y's cancel, and then you get minus 2/5 as your answer.
Okay. It's 2. And you just got the x equals 3y from the y equals 1/3 x equation, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So let me give you another one to work on. Uh, let's see. So number 4. Some of these do require you to actually make some steps to solve or not solve, simplify the fraction where you have to make a common denominator, but that one didn't.
Okay. So equals when you're going from y equals 6/6 x to like x equals something, do you just flip the, like, would it be x equals 7/6y?
Yeah, so that's where you may not like. So this is true. What you just said is true. Okay. So if you're and you can take this. Oops, it's 17y, not 77y. You can put, because there's an x here, you can put 7/6y here, and that's fine. That's totally fine. It's correct. It's just a matter of like, do you like the way that looks? Like, and can you handle that?
Right. So then the other option would be
So
you.
the other option is you could convert this to 6x equals 7y, and since you really want an 18x, how do you make this into an 18x?
Multiply by 3. Well, for the
Yeah,
side.
so 18x equals 21y. You end up getting the same thing. I mean, it reduces down to the same thing. Like this reduces to 21y, but then this also reduces to 21y. And that's the
But what? So Okay, so if you have 18x equals 21y.
Instead of 18x, you're writing 21y because of this substitution up here.
Oh. So you just write 20, so you write 21y
21y, yeah.
over 17y. And then just cancel out the y.
Yes.
Wait, you can't divide by anything. So what's the answer?
So it should be the y's cancel, so it's 21 over 17 minus 16 over 17.
Oh, you could still do the minus 6. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's 5 over 17.
So the answer ends up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, one more, but this time I'm not going to give you the multiple choice, and you get to decide how you do it. What I'm trying to get you to see, and that's why we do these problems so many times in a row, is like you don't always solve for the variable. Sometimes you solve for a multiple of that variable, and that's what's could be unclear, or that's what you really should take away from this problem, is that you're not always solving for x, you're not always solving for y. Sometimes you're solving for a multiple of x or a multiple of y.
Okay, so I got negative 24 over 13.
Okay, that is one of the answers, so that's a good start. And let me grab the answer here. That is correct.
Oh, good. Okay.
Great, nicely done. Well, that could be unclear. All right, so we're doing really well. I think obviously it helps to see these questions again, but the skills are really what I want you to be able to do. We're really heavy on fractional problems today, but you're going to see fractions in this thing. So let me give you another fraction question.
Yeah, that's kind of what I need to work on. So
it's just get through this test. You get into the college of your dreams, and you get to study what you want to study. It all leads you to the future. So. All right, so this is this kind of, it's a common question. They give you something, they give you a letter, they maybe ask you for the other letter, or they ask you for something about the other letter. In this case, they ask you what's the value of 1a, 1 over a. So yeah, you have the value of k. So generally what most students do is they substitute this value of k in. And then it comes down to, like, can you simplify this fast? So whenever you have a fraction on the bottom, you flip it. The fraction on the bottom here is 4/5, so this becomes 5/4. The fraction on the bottom here is 3/5, so it becomes 5/3 equals a. All right, and then I would recommend making a common denominator, which would be 12.
okay, so 60.
60 multiplying by 3, so that's 15. Multiplying by 4, that's 20. And I wouldn't even add these up. I would just say, oh, it's got to be that one. But You know, you
The value of 1 over a, not just a.
you know what and thank you for I shouldn't have done. Yeah, see, that's the classic mistake. You get the answer and you think you're done because you're like, yeah, I got a, but no, it's asking for 1 over a. Oops.
95 over
Yeah.
12, and then you flip it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know we've done this a bunch. So let me just have you do this one without the multiple choice.
Okay.
That's probably the best way to redo questions, is to do them without the multiple choice, because you got to get comfortable with being able to be solid in your answer.
One. Wait, what was the shortcut you do for, like, if it's 4 times -5 over 3? Can you do a shortcut with that, or is it only if there's a 1?
The nice thing is that there's a 1 up top, because that allows you to do the quick flip. This is -20 over 3. So the negatives cancel. So it's really 20 over 3, and then you flip that to become 3 over 20.
Okay. Sure. And then it's -1. 25 over 3. So it's 25. Oh my, finding a common denominator is hard for these. 45. What's a quick way to find a common denominator of 15 and 20 and 25?
So you said 25.
Yeah, is that not right?
What's the other one here?
Yeah, I got 3 over, okay, 3 over 20 plus 3 over 25 minus 3 over 15.
Sorry, I'm looking at the solution. Like, I didn't think this should be 25,
Yeah, 25.
and then you said 5.
No, 15.
Okay, this one should be 5 though.
Well, isn't it 3 times, so 3 times -5 is 15 over 3, and then you flip it, right?
I guess I get okay. So I guess that's true. I see this as the 3's canceling though.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, I guess you couldn't cancel it.
Yeah. So then it's 1 over. It ends up being that. So you should. So your question was valid, like reasonable. Like, well, what is it, Matthew? That's crazy. But this is more reasonable with these numbers, because maybe it's 100.
Okay. So then. Five multiplied by 4 and 1, so that's 15, 12, and 20. So that's 27 minus 20, so 7 over 100. Wait, what? That's a really big number. 100 over 7?
That seems a little bit,
This doesn't seem right.
it seems a little bit too large. So the, nope, that's right. That's right.
Oh, really?
Perfect.
Oh, wow.
Perfect. Okay. All right. So that takes us to the end of our lesson today.
All right.
So I'll send you the notes and the screen recording out shortly. We are kind of getting to the end of like new questions. I mean, we obviously the skills are going to, they're going to keep being needed to work on, but if there's specific content you want to work on, let me know.
Okay. I'm gonna take that practice test on Saturday, so if I'll schedule for Sunday and probably have something to work on for the hour.
Great, great.
All right.
All right. Well, thanks again for scheduling, and I'll send you the notes and the screen recording out later today.
Okay, thank you.
Have a
Bye.
great day. Bye now.